Hello and welcome to the news update on the Papyrus Global TV. My name is Christiana Babayo, and before we begin, here are the headlines. Kebbi Governor signs 642.9 billion naira 2026 budget into law. Dangote details alleged $5 million foreign school fees paid by NMDPRA CEO, calls for investigation. Ex-First Lady Aisha Buhari says mistrust and gossip shaped her late husband's behavior during illness. Senator Abaribe claims Tinubu did not legitimately win the 2023 presidential election. Nigerian Defense Minister says terrorists' operational capacity degraded. Gunmen kidnap worshippers in Kogi State Church attack. Ex-Chief Justice of Nigeria Tanko Muhammad dies. And now the news in details. Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris has given legal effect to the state's 2026 appropriation budget, setting the spending framework for the coming fiscal year at 642.9 billion naira. The budget, titled the Budget of Growth, Transformation and Physical Development, was passed by the Kebbi State House of Assembly following its presentation earlier in December and now awaits implementation across priority sectors. The approved budget reflects a development-oriented fiscal strategy, with approximately 75% of the total allocation earmarked for capital expenditure, underscoring a strong emphasis on infrastructure, agriculture and human capital investment, while the remaining 25% is designated for recurrent spending to sustain government operations and service delivery. Governor Idris had earlier presented the budget proposal to lawmakers under the banner of boosting agricultural activity, rural connectivity, youth empowerment, healthcare and education, aimed at stimulating broad-based economic growth and improving living standards across the state. The passage and signing of the budget reflects a continuing partnership between the executive and legislative arms of government in Kebbi State, with policy makers citing the need for early budget action to enhance program planning and execution. Lawmakers also noted that the budget figures approved by the House of Assembly remain consistent with the governor's original proposal, without major adjustments to either the recurrent or capital components. Implementation of the 2026 budget is expected to begin in earnest as the new year unfolds, with monitoring mechanisms to ensure accountability and alignment with the state's development priorities. Industrialist Aliko Dangote, chairman of the Dangote Group, has publicly outlined detailed allegations that Farouk Ahmed, chief executive officer of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, paid roughly $5 million for the secondary school education of his 4 children in Swiss boarding schools, a claim he says warrants full investigation by relevant authorities. In a paid newspaper advertisement and media statement, Dangote alleged that total costs covered tuition, living expenses, airfare and related upkeep over 6 years, naming Swiss institutions including Montreux Schools, Aiglon College, Institut Le Rosey, and La Garenne International School as part of the alleged education history for the children, who he claims attended between 2019 and 2025. Dangote's breakdown attributed approximately $800,000 per year to tuition, travel and upkeep for all 4 students, plus additional costs tied to one child's alleged postgraduate credentials. He framed the spending as inconsistent with the earnings of a government regulator and called for transparency, suggesting that the Code of Conduct Bureau or other anti-corruption agencies should scrutinize the matter, including matching income declarations with claimed expenditure. The businessman also pledged that if Ahmed denies the allegations, he would pursue legal action to compel the schools to release payment records detailing all fees paid during the period. Dangote emphasized that his concern is not personal attack but accountability and preservation of public trust in regulatory institutions, especially as the downstream petroleum sector grapples with broader issues around governance, licensing and domestic refining policy. As part of this report, Ahmed and the NMDPRA have not issued a public response to Dangote's detailed claims. Investigations from civil society and past petitions to anti-graft agencies on related concerns have intensified scrutiny of the regulator's conduct, though official probes, if any, have yet to be confirmed. Former First Lady Aisha Buhari has revealed that Nigeria's former President Muhammadu Buhari became distrustful of some aides and even locked himself in his room during periods of illness, attributing the behavior to rumors and Aso Rock gossip that eroded his confidence in those around him. The comments were made in a recent interview where Aisha Buhari reflected on the latter years of her husband's presidency, in particularly during his recurring health challenges. According to her account, Mr. Buhari's declining trust in aides was influenced by persistent speculation and internal palace rumors that questioned the loyalty of those in his inner circle. She said she said this atmosphere of misinformation and intrigue had a corrosive effect, leading to episodes where he isolated himself from advisors he had previously relied on. The former First Lady's remarks have sparked debate across political and social media, with some commentators interpreting her comments as a rare, candid glimpse into the personal strain that public office and health issues placed on the presidency, while others see them as part of broader tensions within the political elite during that period. Aisha Buhari's reflections also highlight the personal cost of public service and the ways in which informal narratives such as palace gossip can shape the decision-making and psychological state of national leaders. Senator Naya Abaribe, a prominent opposition figure and a national lawmaker, has reiterated his long-held assertion that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not legitimately win the 2023 Nigerian presidential election. Abaribe's comments, which have resurfaced in public discourse, reflect ongoing disputes over the outcome of that electoral contest. Abaribe, known for his vocal criticism of the ruling party and its leadership, has questioned the validity of the electoral process that brought Tinubu to power. He points to alleged irregularities, judicial decisions, and procedural concerns raised by opposition parties following the 2023 polls. While legal challenges did not occur after the election, the Nigerian courts, including the Supreme Court, ultimately upheld Tinubu's victory and affirmed him as president. The senator's remarks contribute to a wider political debate in Nigeria about electoral integrity, public trust in democratic institutions, and the role of opposition voices in shaping governance narratives. Critics of Abaribe argued that continued rejection of the certified result undermines national cohesion, while his supporters view such statements as part of necessary scrutiny in a maturing democracy. We will now go on a short break, and when we come back, the news will continue. Stay tuned.
The Papyrus Global, we don't just cover events, we create cinematic experiences. From red carpets to birthdays, gala dinners, and your fairy tale weddings, we bring your moments to life with high-tech precision. Our gadgets are smarter, our lenses sharper, and our team simply world-class. Trust the Papyrus Global to tell your story in the boldest, brightest way possible.
Welcome back, and now the news will continue. The Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, has stated that the operational capabilities of terrorist groups, bandits, and other criminal elements have been significantly degraded across multiple regions in Nigeria. Speaking at the Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference 2025 in Lagos, Musa attributed these gains to the courage of troops, improved planning, and the impact of coordinated joint and multi-agency operations. He emphasized that addressing security challenges requires unity, intelligence sharing, and collaboration among all security agencies. Musa highlighted the importance of maintaining the human dimension of military service while pursuing operational success, and noted the conference's role in reviewing the Army's readiness and aligning strategies with national security priorities. Musa also commended the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Wahidi Shaibu, for his operational leadership, especially in the Northeast, and reiterated that Nigeria faces complex security threats, including terrorism, insurgency, banditry, and transnational crime, requiring sustained strategic focus and adaptive leadership. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu echoed the minister's remarks, stressing that enduring progress hinges on a capable, disciplined, and professional military. He applauded ongoing reforms within the Nigerian Army, including modernization, new training doctrines, and emphasis on professionalism as crucial responses to evolving security challenges. The defense minister The Defense Ministry reaffirmed its commitment to providing strategic direction, capability development, and welfare support for personnel and their families, aligning with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. At least 13 worshippers were abducted after armed gunmen attacked the evangelical church Winning All Ekwa in Ayetoro Kiri community of Kababunu local government area, Kogi State, during December 13 Sunday morning service. The assailants opened fire on congregants before seizing several people and fleeing the scene. Kogi State authorities described the attackers as suspected bandits, criminal gangs increasingly linked to kidnappings for ransom across rural parts of the central state. The Information Commissioner Kingsley Fonwo said security forces intervened, resulting in the deaths of 5 attackers, with others injured or escaping. The incident has heightened fear among residents who said repeated violent incursions on places of worship and isolated communities are driving anxiety and population displacement. Local vigilante groups and residents have called for stronger security patrol amid concerns that bandits are exploiting dense bush and forested areas for operations. This attack is part of a spate of violent incidents in the area, underscoring persistent insecurity challenges and signaling a need for intensified protective measures for vulnerable communities in Kogi State and adjoining zones. Tanko Muhammad, a former Chief Justice of Nigeria, has passed away, marking the end of a distinguished legal career that left a lasting imprint on Nigeria's judiciary. Muhammad's death was confirmed by family sources and legal community figures who described his passing as a significant loss to the nation's justice system. Muhammad served as Nigeria's 14th Chief Justice, appointed to the nation's highest judicial office in 2022. During his tenure, he was known for his deep commitment to constitutionalism, efforts to strengthen the rule of law, and firm handling of high-profile cases that shaped public discourse on governance and justice. Before ascending to the CJN role, Tanko Muhammad's legal journey included service as a judge on the Court of Appeal and a justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, where he built a reputation of legal acumen, diligence, and integrity. Colleagues and legal scholars have acknowledged his contributions to prudence and his role mentoring younger jurists. Reactions from across the legal fraternity and public life poured in as news of his death spread, with many paying tribute to his service, judicial temperament, and dedication to justice. Details regarding funeral arrangements and official mourning protocols are expected to be announced by the family in coordination with relevant state and federal authorities. And that's all we have on the news update on Papyrus Global TV. I am Christiana Babayo. Thanks for joining us.